Okay, I decided that to make my life more exciting and help deal with like my personal crises that I frequently have, I thought it would be nice to get a hamster. I went to the local pet stores and PetSmart, Petco, whatever. None of them had hamsters in. So I was like, okay, I don't know what to do, but one of my friends here, she went to a place in a town or city, I guess, like maybe 30-45 minutes away-ish. So my friend here also has a hamster that she got from a place like 30-45 minutes away, and it was at a local pet store there that worked with a personal breeder who breeds hamsters. I went to the same place that she got hers, and I was originally going to go with a male because I was afraid of like the females going through heat, and if you don't know what going through heat is, it's like them trying to have babies. So I was at the store. They only had 4 of the type that I wanted, so I took my time looking at all of them. There was only one male, but it was like not my cup of tea. And then there was a female with the male, which obviously I wouldn't have taken because it might be pregnant. And then there were 2 females in a tank together. And one of them that I was like, you're my new hamster. So I got this hamster, I brought it home, I was playing with it a lot. It was like kind of chubby, but like I didn't think anything of it. It's just like a chubby hamster. So a few days go by and she's like starting to act weird, but I'm like, okay, maybe she's just not used to being here. She doesn't know, like, I don't know what it's like to have an owner and not be in a cage with like multiple other hamsters. So I like played with her a lot in the bathtub. That sounds weird. I lay a blanket down in the bathtub and like let her walk around and crawl because she was in a small cage at the time, so kind of getting her out of there, letting her do her thing. Yeah, so everything was fine, and then she started to get a little bit bigger, so I started not feeding her as much because I thought she was just getting fat. I went to Hunter's house this weekend for the Super Bowl, and I got there on Saturday night, and I was just like hanging out there. She was fine. We had her out in the ball. She's drinking water right now. We had her out in the ball running around, and she was like slower than normal, but like she was in a new environment, so I didn't really expect anything else from it. But yeah, so Sunday morning, which is yesterday from when I'm filming this, I woke up at like maybe 10 a.m. later than normal, I guess, and she was just like hanging out. She wasn't really coming out. I heard her squeak a little bit during the night before, but like once again, like nothing. She's a hamster, she's gonna squeak. And I go to get ready for the day, and Hunter gets ready for the day. We go back into the room to see what she's doing, and there was a baby, like a little, it's like a little pink like a sack with arms and legs. It looks like a piece of raw chicken basically. And it was just like laying in the middle of the cage, and we were like, oh my god. Like we thought she was pregnant, but it was more of a joke than like a real thing. So there was one baby there, and we were like in panic mode. Well, I was in panic mode. He was just kind of like, okay. He thought there were gonna be like 3, maybe 4 babies. I was like, oh my god, she's huge. Probably like 8, give or take 8. So we leave for the day. We like run errands and like did whatever just to give her space to have the babies in the room. And we come back. She's like in and out of her little hut that she's in, and like we don't see the baby anymore. We don't know how many she has. We don't know what's going on. And I lift the little roof of the hut, and she gets up and moves around. And like I couldn't even tell you how many I thought there were at the time, but there were at least 10. And we were like, holy guacamole. There are so many. We don't know how this happened. When I originally got her, the breeder person was like, no, she's in a cage with a female, like she's not gonna be pregnant. So I was like, this is perfect. So yeah, today we counted 13 babies. She has been like running around her cage. She's been climbing. She likes to climb on the top of the cage because it's like wire all the way around. So she will like climb up the side and then climb across the top as if they're like monkey bars, which is so funny. But she has so many babies. We had to go out and buy like a new hut for them because they can't live in, first of all, the little hut that they're in, like the little dome that they sleep in is like this big, and she takes up the whole thing because she's big, but she lays on top of them. So by the time that they get their own space, they need like a huge thing to lay in. So we got that. We got some snacks, protein, and like a few other things that's like good for the mothers to have in order to feed all the babies until they can eat on their own. Oh, also forgot to mention, so we noticed that all of the babies were there, and we were like, okay, game plan, we're gonna call this place that I got her from and ask them what I need to do in order to like make them stay alive and if I can bring them back, because I can't handle 13 babies. So I called the place and they're on speakerphone. I'm with Hunter and his mom, and they were like, hello, and I explained the situation, and the guy was like, what about it? And I'm like, what? Can you take these babies? And he was like, okay, well, you have to keep them for 5 or 6 weeks until they're like mature enough to be like fully grown, and then I can like call them and ask if they have room for them. So it's not even guaranteed that I can bring them back. So wasn't too excited about that. But I asked PetSmart, I asked Petco, they don't accept outsiders hamster babies. So I have to find more local places, not chain pet stores, to see if they'll take any, because this is somewhat of a nightmare. So yeah, so I have her in her cage right now. She is in the hut. She has like a huge bowl of food. She has broccoli is her favorite food, so she has like a crap ton of broccoli because of all the nutrients in it. She has a bunch of like seeds, and she has little like blocks that I got from that pet store that I got her from that are just like average food that they're supposed to have. So she has those 3 things. She has these new healthy things that I got. Then I have like her water thing. And yeah, so she can't live like that forever. So basically, personally myself, I have to keep them on my own for 4 weeks. So I went to the store with Hunter today. We went to Walmart and we got this huge bin. And on Wednesday, 2 days from now, we are gonna cut the whole like long side out on each side and replace that with like a mesh wiring over it, so then there's enough airflow for them to, you know, breathe. Once I move them over, I have to follow a very specific plan of like how hamsters grow and how you're supposed to treat the mother, when you can touch the mother, when you can touch the babies, when you feed them specific things, when to lower the water bottle, when to add toys, all of that. So I have to do that on my own for 4 weeks, but I was very fortunate that I have 2 people who are going to foster a bunch of the babies when it's time for them to leave the nest before I can bring them to the pet store. Realistically, each person will probably have anywhere between 3 and 5, probably 4 or 5 each, depending on all of the genders of the little babies, but we're gonna have to split them up, and then in a week or 2 after they have them for fostering, I can call the pet store, see if they'll take them. What I'm hoping is that some of the people watching them slash the friends and family and whoever of the people who are fostering the babies are able to take some, potentially. I have to find theoretically 13 homes. Right now I have one, potentially a couple more, but that's in the weeks to come. So I will be raising all of these babies. I will hopefully be making a video on the crate that I make and transferring them over and everything. But yeah, so I've had my hamster for, as of today, 6 days. I have had my hamster for 6 days. And now I have 14 hamsters. I hope you enjoyed hearing my overwhelmed and stressed and tired self talk about my current struggle, and hopefully you'll hear more in the future. So I will see you next time.